Okay, so this is how I make my homemade shea butter for my twist outs and also for my skin. I love this thing. Let's go. So first I start off by boiling some hot water, put it into a bowl, and then get me some coconut oil actually. So I put the coconut oil in a glass bowl and I just put it right into the hot water so it can melt. Leave that to sit for a little bit. Then I get my shea butter. I got my shea butter from Ghana. Every time I go back to Ghana, I bring some with me. So what I'm going to do is actually warm it up and melt it down. So you just open up the shea butter and you just melt it down. You can get 100% shea butter from, I think, a lot of places. I think Trader Joe's even has it, but I'm not sure. Yeah, so as we can see, the coconut oil is melting. And then I'm going to melt that my shea. Why is it taking me so long to get this into the bowl? Okay, it's there. Every time I do this, it actually lasts me quite a long time. I do a lot of my twist outs with it. And then I put a little bit more coconut oil for the one I use for my body because I like the one that I use for my hair to be a little bit thicker. So I'm just gonna wait for this to melt down. As you can see, I'm impatient, but it's melting, so that's good. All right, so now the coconut oil has melted down and I'm going to pour that into a separate bowl. Just a side note, I don't sell this. This is just what I make for myself. I give some to my friends if they want and they actually enjoy it. But this is how I make it, so I'm not saying please go and make it the same, but this is how I like to make it. This is rosehip oil. It's good for your skin and hair, so I put a little bit of a dap up in there, just a little bit more for, and then I have some scents that I want to add. This is my avocado oil. I love the smell of this. Then I'm gonna add some olive oil to it. These are just my favorite oils. Ooh. So here I'm going to add the coconut oil to the shea butter melted down. This is me trying not to make a mess, but as we can see, it doesn't really help. These are the tools I have, so I'm using what I got. Right now what I'm doing, I'm actually sure, I'm just smelling it to see if I like it. This is castor oil. Just a little bit of a dap, razzle dazzle there. And then we're going to mix it all up. I'm just going to mix it until I feel like it's good enough. Not too much time wasted on mixing here. Dap. We're done here. Next thing I'm going to do is just put it in the freezer for a few hours. And this is what it looks like after it's frozen. Just put it in the freezer for a few hours. You could do it overnight if you want to. But this is where the fun begins. Here is the texture of what it looks like after it's been frozen. Then I'm going to put in a mixer. You can use a hand mixer for this. You can use a KitchenAid, whichever tool you have, really. But here I'm borrowing my friend's KitchenAid for this purpose. So I'm just going to scoop it all up and put it in the mixer. I don't want to leave just anything behind. And I'm going to add a couple of more oils. These are some essential oils, some 100% oils that I like the smell of, really. It's just for scents for myself. Then the next thing I'm going to do is adjust it correctly, then mix it all up. First I have to figure out how to use it, but we got there eventually. Then mix. Just keep mixing until you kind of get this fluffy look to it. As you can see, the color turned a little bit more white as I kept using it. I didn't add anything else to it. I just kept mixing it. And it goes from like a yellowish to like a fluffy white, like that kind of texture. Just as a closer look of like what it looks like that. Very smooth. If there are any clumps, just keep mixing. So here's what I'm gonna just move it to a bowl. So right here I'm done with my mix for my hair, and I think I made too much, so I just have to keep finding empty containers that I have laying around and just pour it in there. So once you're done with this, the next thing to do is to actually go back into the freezer. So you're gonna cover it up and just put it right back into the freezer. So this is, we kind of finished with just the skin part of it. This is what I use for my skin every time I take a shower. I also use it for my twist outs or for my hair. So this is kind of what it looks like afterwards. So I put it in the freezers out, and then it just kind of gives you a nice shiny little glow. It's good for the winter for me. I like to use this for the winter and the fall, for my hair, my skin, and I love it. Thanks for watching.